Hello there to all that may be watching or listening. My name is Moth, and I've hopped around a bunch of fandoms in the past few years, and I'd like to share some of my experiences. Now, where should I begin? Well, what better place than the very first fandom that I ended up getting kind of obsessed with? Let's begin with the Percy Jackson fandom. Oh boy, you can tell it's gonna be great. It was about 2017, and I had just read the first series in the Percy Jackson saga. And I was obsessed. I was really excited about it, and if you got me talking about the books, I could probably have talked for hours. My brother had shown me an app called Amino. Oh boy. And I joined a Percy Jackson Amino. Now, if you've ever used Amino, you know that it's kind of meh in any terms. It's typically just a bunch of small children obsessing over things. And I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying that the general experience was filled with OP and Mary Sue OCs. And speaking of OCs, I made one. Oh boy. I remember that. Specifically Mary Sue OC, who is really OP. I really never want to think about that time ever again. That character's name was Maya Gold, and she was a child of Hades. Personally, I'd like to completely rewrite her if I ever got back into it, but I don't think I ever will. I was also a hardcore Perciveth shipper, as in I would have started a war if someone shipped anything else. Yes, I was that person. Yay, it sucked. But it goes even further with the OCs and the shipping, and oh dear. At some point, I killed Maya off in an RP before resurrecting her as a literal goddess and then making her human again. I have no idea how the people in that chat and in the Amino even tolerated me. I wish I had that much patience, because my god, they were basically saints. Now, the Amino I was on now is probably dead. Probably a pretty dead, deserted Amino. You know, it's been several years. It's been a while, and from what I'm guessing, and from the last time I checked, which was last year, it was dead. But I really do miss that Amino and that fandom in general. It was a great place to hang around, and even if I was really annoying, I could probably, if I got back into it, I would have a better experience and end up making something that might be halfway decent if I actually went back, but I don't really think I will. But this isn't over yet. No, it's time for me to talk about fan art. You can tell it's gonna be great when someone mentions fan art. Now I think we all know what happens when someone who's really new to fandoms and all that, finds fan art of a character they like or a ship they like. If you don't know, let me explain. Typically, someone with unexperienced with it will either not credit the artist of the work, or they'll trace it and claim it as theirs with no credit to the original artist, or they'll flat out say it's theirs, or, they'll just use it and even if they don't know the artist. That one's decently common. But, Luckily, I didn't do the first two. I did the third one. I used fan art without knowing the artist. Nowadays, I'd feel terrible about that. I wouldn't even do that in the first place nowadays, because I have learned my lesson. I also started drawing, but that's another story. But 2017 me did not know that, or hold a decent amount of any of my current ideals. Luckily, I didn't get in too much trouble, I just got a warning. Thank God. Now, my time in the Percy Jackson fandom lasted about from 2017 to 2019. And at the end there, I had slowly started to associate myself with a very infamous fandom. The Gacha fandom. You can pretty much guess where that goes. Woo woo! Well, probably not the way that some will think, and then anyone who's... I'm just gonna say... It was rough. And yes, 2019 to about 2020 was the time I was in the Gacha fandom. Use that information as you will. It was early 2020 when I stopped. Honestly. Cringe. That is all I will say. Is cringe. My God. Though I'll share my stories about the Gacha fandom, which was far more recent, another time, because my script kinda ends here. I'll tell about my time in the Gacha fandom and any after that in another day. This is your resident sleepy goth moth, signing out.